again next to you. Somebody should study that. You see some of these orange cones here? Don't be deterred. Sometimes they're for construction or sometimes they're for people who want to save their parking spot and not have to wait for anything. See? No signal. We just have to assume that the person knows what they're doing, because sometimes it's not exactly clear. So over here, we're about to pass a speed bump. People seem to memorize streets by the speed bumps here. Not the speed bumps, but the potholes. And this used to be a very big one that they just splattered some asphalt on top of it and some tar, and they said, we're done, we're here, we're finished for the day. One of the many hundreds of churches and graveyards coming up. Seems to have a lot of them here. But if you were wondering, the graveyards and the churches seem to be doing better than the public schools here in Philadelphia, which are some of the worst in the country, especially when it comes to reading levels, when it comes to retention, when it comes to graduation rates. And here's about to go for speed bump here, and trolley tracks. So there it is, there it went. See if we can make it right here. I want to show you a mural that you might be familiar with. Since we are in West Philadelphia, here comes a speeding car, here comes some more bad streets. And there it is. I don't know if you can see it up to the upper left, but that's one of Will Smith, and this is as close as we can get. I don't think we could get much closer than that. That's Will Smith. Some people wanted to take it down after the incident at the Oscars with Chris Rock. Well, I don't see it that it should be down. I don't see why it should be up. But I'm not triggered by anything like that. Here's a parking lot of a school. And a lot of the places here seem run down, but they are in fact still in play. So you'll see a playground like this in the middle of nowhere. You see a basketball court here in the middle of nowhere. And believe it or not, people will play in them. You see weeds growing from the ground. There's no lines or markings left, or does it look, there's a mouse trap on the floor, there's a broken phone on the floor. And here we are. Looks like no one has swept here in ages. And some of the rims are bent. At least they have a rim. Some of these courts don't even have any rims left, pardon me. Okay, let's continue. Okay, you see that. But it's just a few minutes from here, you will see very well taken care of areas. It's funny how that happens. It's funny how that happens. Funny in a ironic way, not funny in a jestful way. So you see that it is possible to maintain whatever you want. Let's continue here for a while so I can show you some of the places where people do buy homes. There's a lot of artwork that you won't see in other places like New York outside of some of these buildings that are very beautiful. A lot of them are put together by local artists. A lot of them are put together by school children, as if they had a sign of hope, but I don't know, it's aesthetically pleasing. Are they functional? Don't know. Here's a mural, Long Live Big Mike. I'm not sure who he was. Was he a neighborhood hero, local hero? I'm not sure. Surrounded by this Global Leadership Academy charter school. A lot of these schools you'll see are constantly looking for teachers, especially male teachers, because they have a high turnover rate. It's hard to keep students if the teachers are not interested. And it's hard to keep teachers if the community and the administration is not interested. So you got to sort that out somehow. I guess we just have to care a little bit more about children than about a paycheck and how good we look on paper. How they used to say, bureaucracy. Bureaucracy. Here we are. Here we are, an industrialized area. A stop sign. Another pothole. This is what messes up your cars. But believe it or not, the insurance rates are not super high here in Philadelphia, but still. Ooh, I see someone setting up for a cookout. It's one way to keep your employees interested in going to work during the summer. Try to go a little slower so you can take in the ambiance, the environment. This is definitely a good area to film a movie about a rough area. A lot of these cars are abandoned or being chopped for parts. A lot of them, I'm sure, were obtained legally. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's also a good place to break the law and have some kind of racing, but you'll put in danger your life and someone else's if you care about that stuff. And a lot of these buildings look abandoned, but you'll see that there's someone renting them or somebody living in them. Another speed bump, oh, killing us out here. Killing us out here. And just for reference, anytime that you see someone coming your way and they're walking in a way that's, I don't know, what's the word that we should use here, that we can use here? Anytime you're going someplace and you see someone who's walking in a way that looks out of the ordinary, just avoid it. Just avoid it. Save yourself some hospital bills. Save yourself some unneeded interaction. Why not? The street smarts have two parts, the street and then the smart part. Be smart about the things you do. We have a few speed bumps here. I think I'm gonna go right under this overpass here. And a little bit of a shadow. It's not that hot today. So we'll see what we have. Go on the left here. And I'm using the E-Mmove Cruiser scooter. Has a pretty long range. We passed the shopping district here at 52nd Street, nearing Parkside. We're approaching. We have 23 seconds to close the gap and close the street. People here in Philadelphia, if they notice anything out of the ordinary, they will give you looks. And the thing about West Philadelphia, everything looks out of the ordinary. But especially if it's something that you are doing, I don't know, let's say like recording or have a scooter, that will definitely catch the attention of people who are not readily busy doing these things outside. But then again, a lot of people just catch your attention just being outside. You can catch their attention just being outside. A lot of people decide to stay inside nowadays. Let's see. What should we do? What should we do? Okay, let's keep going. There's always some construction happening here in Philadelphia, even if it's unannounced. So just leave a little more time for that. A lot of the things in Philadelphia happen in a pop-up situation, meaning you won't see it one day and then the next day you'll see a lot of construction happening all of a sudden, and it'll take months and you're wondering where'd that come from. So we're still in West Philadelphia, but we're Parkside. This area is called Parkside. The statue of Moses coming up here on your left. And we went from a very hectic neighborhood to a neighborhood that doesn't have a lot of traffic. And a lot of people like to come to this area just for relaxation. They'll park their cars wherever. And if you hear a loud noise, sometimes you don't know if it's a conversation or an argument. So you either slow down or speed up. Those are the two options you have. So let's keep going through here. There's a statue of Moses. Let's make a right over here. They had a graduation around here not too long ago. So as you see, a lot of these cars are just parked here. Might be the day off. A lot of retirees just parking here, relaxing. They can walk around, not be disturbed. It's a good scene. I've come to this area a few times, on a few occasions. There it is, see? He's about to park right there in the shade to not be bothered by anyone. I guess the sun cut off with him on one side, just moved to the other side. It's a pretty nice area. And in the newspapers you'll read that Philadelphia is one big cesspool of a lot of bad things happening and crimes and murders. Yes, that does happen. But a lot of it has to do with the way that the city is run. And the government and the public officials don't expect a lot from its citizens in the way that they run things, and that is obvious. And they like to keep the people asleep. And I'm not here to wake them up, I'm just here to make a video review about this scooter. But just so you know, this area was filled with lawn signs that said, "Vote for Biden, vote for Biden, vote for Biden." Just a couple of years ago. And some of them did, some of them didn't. But I'll leave that up to you. So here we have the Police Touch Museum, which has a beautiful piece of architecture right on top of it. As I try to adjust my camera here with the E-Mmove scooter that I'm using here. Set things steady. I am wearing a helmet today, just for the look. And a lot of families come here. I don't know how much it is to get in. It might be free, I'm not sure. But we're gonna take the bike path right in front of it so you can take a look at what it looked like from the exterior. A lot of people rent this place out for events and weddings and gatherings, parties. I never have, maybe one day I will. Here it is. I'll move back a little bit so you can see. This size looked like hell, but if you turn around, this is what it looks like. Okay, says they're having an exhibit June 3rd to September 18th. See some families going in. Some nice, what appears to be oxidized bronze statues. Very lifelike. I'm happy they didn't remove these statues when they were removing a lot of statues a couple years ago. That would have been horrific because a lot of these are beautiful structures. Let's move on. If you appreciate history, you appreciate history. Even if you don't like some parts of it. Unless there's a pool here. I think this was, I don't know if this was called Kennedy Pool or Kelly Pool, but I don't believe it's open. Let's see if it even has water in it. The city shut down a few years ago because of something going around. Let's just say that. And it did destroy a lot of people's livelihoods. Not so much what was happening, but everything closing down at once. And as you see, there's water in the pool. I'm just not sure that anyone is using it. I'm sure the lifeguards might use it. Looks like some of them are here, but there's nothing. There's nothing. A lot of the parks and recreation services here in Philadelphia have thought it to be of the best interest for the kids that are at home for the summer and the families that are at home for the summer to not have access to a public pool. Well, make of that what you will, but a major part of a park is recreation. And spend the whole year going to school, you might want to enjoy yourself some other way than hanging around your block. And parents, if you have a way to get your children away from the city, even for a little while, it might be to your best interest to do that. As we pass the archway here, a few more monuments. This is a place that many people use for recreation too. At different times of the year, there's a baseball field over here. We're on Lansdowne Drive here in West Philadelphia. Area codes for Philadelphia, I believe 434, 267, and 215 is the most famous one. So, we're about to cross the street here. And you just see a lot of the sports stadiums, a lot of their recreational activities here are just down. They're just down. People are not using them as much. And a lot of it's because of fear, and a lot of it's because it's not being funded. If you force people to stay home with no other plan than just to stay home or not when you're going to reopen again, it's going to be hard for everyone. And for everyone, I'm talking about for families, for law enforcement, for teachers, because you're going to need that outlet at some point or another, even if you don't have it available. So you have to think about what's going on here. Speaking of which, let's see what I do to cross the street. And we're back in traffic, back on the street. It's funny how when you first come to a city, you don't know anything about it. But then as you learn a little bit more about a city, you know it like the back of your hand, and you look at the places where you used to go or were unfamiliar with when you first got here. And now they just seem so uneventful, just normal. It's a life lesson there somewhere. I'm just piecing it together as I'm talking to you. A few more bumps as we cross the street here. A lot of these streets have restrictions that you can't make any turns on right between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. I guess that's when they figure to have the most traffic, but yeah, pretty much you do what you want in Philadelphia. I think there's a website called If You Can See It. If you can see it, yeah. If you can see it, it's called Lawless Philadelphia. Lawless, meaning the laws are optional. And as you saw, we just passed a group of guys just hanging in the street with not much to do. A lot of times if you can't go to the business, you got to start a business where you are. At least that's an option that a lot of people take here, unfortunately. And a lot of people in West Philly, they don't even go outside. They just stay inside, and I don't know, I gotta stop for a second. It looked like maybe a bee stung me or something. Something is paining me in my back. But a lot of people just get their foods through Uber Eats on a daily basis. And they don't ever think about leaving the area. It's not something that's an option for them, or they don't see it as an option because of the way that Philadelphia is run. And you know what? Instead of complaining all the time, you might want to one day run for office. And hope that they hold you as accountable, at least, well, more accountable than they've held the current administration. If you don't like something, fix it. Oh, they have fruits and vegetables here. That's one of the good things about these smaller neighborhoods. You'll have people who still have the spirit of industry and of business. You know, you can go somewhere and you can buy, let's say, some vegetables or watermelon or something like that. I see a woman with a pink and blonde wig. I think that's the official name for it. And with that, I'll say, never be ashamed of what you were born with. If you were born with hair that's coarse, use it. Rock it. If you were born with hair that's straight, hell, rock it. Don't feel you have to change for appearance sake. Let's see if we can cross this street with no signs. Be right here. We see a rider coming the same way as me. I'll stay on his side. This way we can both see each other at the same time. And a lot of it you just can't see until you actually move here. Let's make a right over here. Let's see if we can do that. All right. Right, this right turn. We continue on this road. It's one way, but have you make up your own mind as to where you want to be. Going the opposite way here, just to get a little closer to the bike path. See if we could continue. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll take it to Southwest Philly. I'm not sure. The cars are usually very cooperative. They see you coming. Okay, as you see, that car was honked at. A lot of people like to play with their cell phones and text their mamacita during red lights and mess up the flow of traffic. Let's see. Check out this street. Also, if you want to get better at public speaking, just begin speaking publicly. Jeannie Black, that's Blackwell. That's that politician there in the mirror on the wall. I used to work in a place where I believe his wife was in charge of that area, and they always used to ask for money from her and pray for her and suck up to her for money every year. And the school actually got it, but you have to ask for what? Money for what? What's the end result for what? And in the middle of all this, you'll see a Drexel athletic field. So there's money in it. There's money for everything people want to find money in. And whatever you fund will grow. If you don't fund it, it's not going to grow. As you saw that lady passing by with her headphones on, with no care in the world, I don't recommend that. You always want to be aware and alert of your surroundings. She looked like she was shuffling through songs or podcasts with her big old headphones. So yeah, whatever you fund will grow. If it's not funded, it usually means that there's no interest in it. And whatever there's no interest in will die out or become a problem to and for someone else. Life lesson there somewhere. Redskins fan. And you see a lot of Redskins fans here in Philadelphia, as well as Cowboys fans. They usually diss each other. It's fun to see. I have no stake in the game. Okay, giving us the right of way. Let's keep going. We're about to pass UPenn Hospital. There's a mail carrier as well as a police officer. We haven't seen many of those. And you will not. Probably one of the hardest and easiest jobs that you'll see around here. Sometimes I look at people and like to try to figure out their story, even if it's right or wrong. But just try to figure it out. Sometimes things in a certain area just look a lot different than you would imagine it or how you've been told, which is a good reason to get out and see it for yourself, you know, with your own eyes. Let's see that. See. So we still have to wait here. The gas price right now is at $4.35. It's funny, I was in Virginia and I saw gas prices for as low as $3.59 in some places. But remember, whatever you vote for, you're gonna get. You still see a lot of people walking around here with their masks on by themselves, riding their bikes alone. So a lot of times what they put into your head works, whether you think it's right or wrong. That's what you see. People driving alone with their masks on. When many times you know they're going to serve no purpose. So think about the things that you have around you right now that serve no purpose, but you still have a strong belief about them. As we pass Penn Medicine, this hospital has a pretty good reputation, as well as you can have for a hospital, and it has also a helicopter landing pod on top of it. Another thing I want to share with you is that this area, when I first got here, did not have any of these buildings. it was just desolate. But you can tell there were already plans to make it commercial, to make it heavily residential for the college students. And I like to keep my eye out for riders. Maybe we could go this way this time. For riders, as well as pedestrians when I'm riding. But sometimes people are so busy on their cell phones that they can't even notice it or even appreciate that. But still, look out for them. This restaurant in the right wasn't there before. What was there before was another restaurant that was featured in, I believe, in Nightmare Kitchens by Gordon Ramsay, but it's no longer there. Hasn't been there probably in 7 years now, but you can still look it up online. Just search, Gordon Ramsay, West Philadelphia, Kitchen Nightmares. It'll come up. During that time, I believe they turned things around, but just for a little while. The restaurant business is not a business that you can really, you can't really determine whether it's going to stay open for a long time or not. Especially in an area where students are in and out of the area. And especially when you're surrounded by a lot of major franchises. So we can turn here, go into this area over here, see a 7-Eleven. Police car right there next to it. Let's try to sneak up through here. And I like the way that we're doing. We're in Drexel campus. I like the way how we're doing on, especially going uphill. On this cobblestone road, all these bricks, a lot of hops, people not paying attention on their phone. And that's what you have to deal with. As we go up here, the Saxby's nearby, there's a Sabrina's. Even when people are not paying attention, it's almost like if they go into what I call automatic mode. And that's where they know as they're walking to stay to the right, but sometimes the right is not the best place to go. So walking and typing is not the safest way to get around here in the city. It's a bad habit, and it has to be monitored. It smells great around here. That's because you have Sabrina's restaurant, cafe on your right. And let's make a right over here. A lot of people are waiting for their orders, their online orders. Sabrina's is one of those restaurants that stayed open and was immediate to make the mask optional policy once a lot of the restrictions were done, which was appreciated by many of the patrons. Let's see if we can make this a little tighter. Please stay tuned for schedule adjustments and mechanism adjustments. We appreciate your patience. You are a valued customer. Okay, let's continue here in our trek to around Philadelphia. So this E-Mmove Cruiser, let's get back to that. I got the brakes upgraded, meaning I got them tightened, because if you got the brakes that under the settings that they come with from the factory, you'll notice that they'll wear away pretty fast. So what I did, I took them to a bike shop where they were able to tune it up for me. And once they did that, the brakes were spectacular, and they froze on the dime, with the exception that now it was so tight and so effective that they break, the line breaks if you stop right away. So you have to do a gradual decrease of speed and anticipate any obstacles before they even happen, because they got so tight that I had to replace the brake line twice. It was not fun, but you know what else is not fun? Crashing. So I was told by someone in a chat room that you can get hydraulic brakes and I will never have that brake line problem again. So that's something I'm going to experiment and explore with. So I'm gonna continue here. As you see the bike paths here on the way past the art museum, you'll notice that a lot of these trees have not been trimmed in ages. So someone who's about my height, which is about 6'1", look at that big pothole right there. Wow, how are you gonna see that at night? Good thing I just bought a new light. Yeah, a lot of these, I'm ducking the whole way through. That's why the camera's pointing down, because you can't see otherwise, or you can't get by otherwise. Getting back to that pothole, there is a toll-free number that you can call. And they say that within 3 days they'll fix it. Now, there's a catch to that. A lot of these potholes are not actually potholes. They're holes made by the Philadelphia Gas and Water Department. And if it's made by one of them, then there's no way that you're going to get that hole replaced, or fixed. So you have to know what kind of hole it is. Was it made by construction, or was it made by some other entity? Because the Philadelphia pothole division will only handle holes that are in their favor. So that are in only their holes. They have their own holes. So one thing that's been happening with this VORO Cruiser is that it shuts off by itself. And this is the first time that it's shut off, but it's not the first time since I had it that it's shut off. It's a problem that I see that's been happening with a lot of riders, where it will just shut off, and to get it working again, you just have to you have to turn it off and then turn it back on. But that's not a solution, that's a workaround. If we pass this big pothole again, it makes it so you don't want to take it anywhere far, because you don't trust that it's going to stay on. So I'm not sure what's happening there, but it is a problem that I see that a lot of riders are having. And the company has yet to address it. I had the controller fixed, or replaced, so let's say, I don't know, I would say maybe 3 months ago now. And it's something that it was replaced, but still has its issues. You have to keep shutting it off for it to work again. It keeps shutting off. At first I thought it was a brake problem because my brakes were not working. I thought it was maybe a safety thing, that it would shut off by itself, but it's not. It's just simply, I believe it's a fault in the circuitry. So that's something that they might want to have worked out before they sell any more. Or they might have to recall. So as I was saying, I had the controller replaced, I had the battery changed, but it still cuts out. And my original reason for taking the scooter in for servicing was because it cut off while going off hill. The controller just spazzed out, and it was replaced at the company for $60. So once they replaced that, it was working fine for about three 3 months, but the first time that I took it on a long ride, it just conked out. And I just had to keep shutting it off. I must have done it about 10 times. Eventually, I just let it sit and let it cool itself off before I decided to power it back on and go for a long ride. But not much fun if it keeps shutting off. It might be a deal breaker. It might be something that you don't want to invest in. I never had this problem with the Segway, even though this is a more fun ride because it has suspension and because of all the modifications you can make to it. If you can't get a long distance from a long-lasting battery, then why do it? It's a shame. It really is. So as you saw, I was riding for about 40 minutes before it cut off, and now it cuts off again. Yeah. And I had to shut it off, turn it back on. Currently have it on level 2. The battery is about 75% charged. And there's another cutoff. So as you saw, it just cut out twice. I have to turn it off, turn it back on for the third time. I want to see how long between cutoffs. So far, that's the third time that it's cut off, and the second time that you actually were able to see it. So let's see what happens here. Yeah. To imagine you had to rely on this to make a living or for a commute and it just keeps cutting off. No way. I think as soon as I get back in, I'm going to contact VORO Motors again, because this is not the way a scooter is supposed to work. Not for this price, not for any price. Let's see, let's let this guy go. And believe it or not, I'm also noticing that here's another cutoff. Gotta shut it down. Start again. Yeah, I'm gonna have to call and see what they can do about this. If anything, because for a $1,500 scooter, you have to keep turning it off so it can work, then it's not working. You might as well just keep there's another cutoff. Yeah, you might just keep your money, save your money, and get a Segway Max, which does not have this problem. That one has a longer stem too. So as you keep encountering problems with your current scooter, you start thinking about maybe the one that I had is not so bad after all. It's a life lesson there somewhere. Yeah, you don't need this new problem, you don't. It's not fun at all. Yeah, I might have to change my overall review on it, because this one just seems to have altered the review that I had originally. And I'm sure it's gonna shut off anytime. So right now I'm at a steady 23. It shows on the odometer. And something about it having it on, I'm not sure exactly when it's going to happen, but just expect it to happen. So I'm shutting it off right now, turning it back on. And let's see how much we can get from that headed uphill. So that's the 6th cutoff. And it's funny, sometimes you call customer service, they have no idea what you're talking about, but it seems like the customers now it's gyrating. That's something new. The battery's at 51.6. Not sure what that gyration means. I haven't invited it to dance. Still going uphill. La-da-dee-da. We might break it. We might break a new record. There, shut off again. My. What the? So, the amount of time that you're going to spend turning it off and on is probably not going to be beneficial for your needs. Let's just say that. Yeah, let's just say that right away. Yeah, how many times can you actually not? Here you see I had to jump off because it was not, it wouldn't even stay on to cross the street. So let's see how far it goes this time. See how far it goes. I'm glad I didn't take this anywhere far, because this cutting off is not user-friendly at all. So that's the 8th time that is cut off. It's almost like the motor is struggling with something else. It's almost like the power is uneven. I'm just not sure when it's gonna happen. So let's see, now I'm going downhill. And this is probably the most honest review you're gonna get. I'm not kissing anybody's behind. I'm just trying to go downhill. And you see the struggles that I am having. This scooter was purchased, I believe, in November. As you see, that's number, I would say that's number 9. That's the 9th one, number 9. And do I trust it? Nah, I don't trust it. So I'll see how many times it'll stay on. See, that's number 10. This is a bad look, VORO Motors E-Mmove. I think at this point I can walk faster than I can ride this scooter. Oof. Wow. What happened to all those nice advertisements before you got it? Jesus Christ, this is number 11th time this shuts off. Hey, at this time I think I could throw it faster than I can ride it. I'm just trying to make it to my car so I could go home. I might go faster if I ride it without power. Maybe I just kick it. What do you think about that? It's a nice couch someone's throwing out, but I don't know how many times people have farted on that. Let's go down, let's go down. So I'm not sure if it's gonna stay on for the duration of this ride. I'm not sure if it'll stay off. I'm not sure what it's gonna do. And that's not a good feeling. So you're not only getting the functionality aspect of it, but you're getting the emotional aspect of it. What goes through the mind of someone when their scooter's not working. Dag nabbit. That's a word that this generation has not embraced. Dag nabbit. And this is a perfect occasion to use it. Dag nabbit. Am I ever going to get there? So it's cut off about 12 times already. That's a dozen times. And the thing is, you can't get your money back. You can't get your time back. That's the beauty of having a scooter that's not working. A dialysis center over here. And I like that they provided parking for their workers. I like places that provide parking for their workers. Especially in a place that doesn't have a lot of parking. It's well appreciated. It's one less stressful situation. Let's see how far we can get, if we can get anywhere. Let's see. Let's see what we can do. I don't know. I'll see how far I can get. One. I can't see that high. Yeah, all these places weren't here when I first came here, but they're here now. That's what matters. Some are real nice inside. Okay, we made it across that one. Yeah, let's go to the shade. What helps, sometimes if you turn it off and you turn it back on before it cuts out, it'll give you a little bit more time to work with, but it's still not a solution. If you think that's a solution, you're wrong. You're dead wrong. Okay. So cut off 13 times. Lucky number 13. Can we go for 14? 14, 40, 40, 50, 50, 50. I can go 15, 15, 18, 15, 15, 15. Can I go 16, 16, 17, 17, 17, 17, 45. Can I go? Absolutely. Sold to another scooter company, since this one sucks. All right, we'll see. We'll keep going here on this path. I should do a side-to-side comparison with Segway scooter, so you'll see the difference. If it comes to it, I like a company that works, as opposed to one that does not work. Oh, we gotta get out of the way. Yeah, that's number 14. That's number 14. That's not gonna do any good. I would say Jesus, but Jesus has nothing to do with this. I don't think they could help VORO Motors. So, since I got the scooter, there's been a few problems. Let me count out the problems that I've had with this, and then you tell me if it's something that you want to deal with. I had a problem with the bolt that broke, and they swore it wasn't their fault because of the potholes, okay? And that happened within 3 months of having it. The second problem I had was the brakes. They just went too fast, and I had to order from the company, and they had shipping and handling, which was too much. All right, that's 2. The second was the handlebar wiggle, which was not favorable, because why do you want a handlebar that wiggles? It's not sturdy. Segway doesn't have that problem. The third one was the controller cut out, which they could not determine. They thought it was the battery at first. I had to take it down to the company in Brooklyn, 2.5 hour drive. And they determined it was a controller, and I had to wait 3 weeks to get it because they didn't have any more in stock. And okay, a lot of places are missing products. They can't get their products to come on time nowadays. But this ultimate problem with it's cut out, that's number 16. That's 17. It just keeps cutting out. On the full battery, that's a deal breaker. Look how many times it cut off, and just in short distances. 17, I think we can make 23. Now it's gyrating as I'm pressing the throttle, and then it cut off again. That's 8, that's 19. My. And the worst part about it is I have it, and if I have to replace it, I'm gonna have to take it back myself. Yeah, I'm gonna show you proof that this is the one. I'm gonna show you proof that this is the one. I'll show you. Some people might be like, oh no, he doesn't really have it. Oh, I'll show you. Oh yeah, I'll show you. I'm gonna show you right now. I'm gonna park it against this fence, and you'll see that it's the one. Okay. I'll show you right there. New as a whistle, beautiful as can be. Dysfunctional as hell. Okay. See my car.